Okay, so full disclosure. It takes a lot to scare me, like a lot. I slept with the lights on last night. There's a lot to unpack here, so we're just gonna dive right in. Hereditary is the feature film debut of Ari Aster. It stars Toni Collette, Alex Wolff, Millie Shapiro, and Gabriel Byrne. And it tells the story of the Graham family, a somewhat dysfunctional family who are further torn apart by tragedy after the death of their grandmother. This is a movie that had unbelievable hype behind it from its Sundance premiere onward. From the start, people were saying that it's a new horror masterpiece, that it's the new Exorcist. All kinds of praise that it couldn't possibly live up to, right? But as a result, it became one of my most anticipated films of the year, and that just gave it even bigger shoes to fill for me. And I'm just here to tell you, not only did it fill those shoes, it proceeded to kick me in the face with them. This movie's the real deal. The hype is real.
It's true. All of it.
Hereditary is a masterclass in filmmaking. There are no words to really describe it, and even as I'm filming this video, I'm still unpacking it in my head. But make no mistake, this movie is nothing short of brilliant. Ari Aster created a film that basically succeeds on every single level. See, the best thing about Hereditary is that if you strip away all the horror elements from this movie, you're still left with an insanely compelling, grief-fueled family drama. Then on top of that, you're delivered a heaping portion of some incredibly disturbing imagery and themes. I'm going to be intentionally vague with a lot of this review, because nothing compares to seeing this movie blind. But I will say that there are several images this movie provides you with that are seared into my brain now and will not leave for weeks to come. All the scares in this film are refreshingly subtle while still being distinctly terrifying. And they all come from Aster's insanely impressive direction. I want to give a special shout out to Pavel Pogorzelski, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, the cinematographer of this film, for making one of the most stunning looking horror films I've ever seen. Every single shot, every frame right from the start is oozing with dread and tension, all amplified by slow, methodical camera movements and utilization of every single inch of the frame, all of which to provide you with just some chilling, unsettling scares. This film utilizes a lot of static wide shots, oftentimes framing the family members as though they're the same miniatures that Annie creates in her spare time. They'll throw insanely unsettling things right into your frame of view and just leave it up to you to notice them. Sometimes they're hidden in shadow, but they're always there, right in your frame of vision, and they just hold on it. And that's Ari Aster's biggest weapon against the audience in this film. He forces you to look at things that you do not want to be looking at. Whether it's something that's truly tragic and disturbing, or something that's just really eerie and uncanny to view. At times he'll throw something extremely subtle into a shot. So subtle that you're not even sure if you're seeing it, or if it's just a trick of the light. And it makes your hair stand on end. On top of that, I want to give extreme praise to the editing and the sound design of this film. They work in conjunction with each other to create an absolute nightmare. There's a great quote from Eli Roth where he said, "If you want to not be scared by a horror film, cover your ears and not your eyes." And disturbing imagery aside, the movie he was talking about there was Hereditary. The editing in this film is absolutely fantastic, knowing exactly when and where to cut a shot, when and how to transition between two scenes, be it a disorientingly beautiful match cut from day to night, or from one location to another, or a really slow Kubrickian fade that just leaves you unsettled and really uncomfortable. When to hold agonizingly long on a shot that we don't want to be seeing. And on top of that, you have absolutely incredible sound design. This movie creates specific sound cues, specific associations with certain sounds that will really, really unsettle you as an audience member. And then it uses them against you in the most horrifying ways. There are no jump scares. This isn't that type of film. Instead, this is the type of film that creeps into your brain and constricts, making you wince and tense up at every whisper, every breath, every you hear. And I really don't think I could stress how Ari Aster's direction in this film is impeccable. And I'm very much aware that fear is very subjective and not something that everybody experiences in the same way. Not everybody is afraid of the same things. But what Ari Aster created here is a film that goes so far beyond "it scared me." He created a film that's unique and disturbing and uncomfortable, and even those who aren't scared by the things they're seeing on screen are still going to feel that intense discomfort that permeates through every single inch of this film. And speaking of impeccable, let's talk about the acting. Toni fucking Collette. My god. If she does not receive award recognition for this movie, it will honestly be a crime. She's always been a powerhouse, but this movie is no exception to that, and in fact, I'd say this is her best performance to date. She knocks it out of the park. There are so many levels to this performance, and honestly, watching her spiral further and further down and out of control is really the performance of a lifetime. The dinner scene alone is Oscar-worthy. You'll know it when you see it.
Don't you swear at me, you little shit! Don't you ever raise your voice at me! I am your mother!
Honestly, there isn't a single weak link performance-wise in this film. Between Gabriel Byrne's increasingly desperate performance as Steve, who's just struggling horribly to keep his family together, Alex Wolff's insanely vulnerable Peter, who suffers immensely throughout this entire film and experiences grief in a really different way, in a way that I found very realistic for a teenager, and Millie Shapiro, Broadway's Matilda, as their 13-year-old daughter Charlie, who is intensely disturbed and shared a very distinct special relationship with their deceased grandmother. All these performances are fantastic, yet they all manage to be distinctly separate of one another so that no one ever really steals the spotlight from the others. Everybody has their chance to shine in this movie, and boy do they shine. Honestly guys, any issues I have with Hereditary are genuinely CinemaSins level nitpicks that I'm not even going to mention in this review. A, out of spoilers, and B, because they're really not important. This is a masterclass in cinema, and as my friend Vince said after the movie ended, this is going to be one of the most important horror films of all time. And I'm inclined to agree. This is a breathtakingly impeccable, brilliantly acted, horrifying film that I truly believe that scholars will be talking about in the future in the same way they talk about The Exorcist and Psycho and Rosemary's Baby. Yes, it's that good. I genuinely cannot wait to see it again, to drink in all the details that I missed, and I'm gonna say that Hereditary is unquestionably a genre masterpiece. I cannot recommend enough that you check it out as soon as humanly possible, but a bit of advice first. The hype is all true, you need to go into it blind, and you need to be prepared to sleep with the lights on after it ends. You've been warned. Thank you guys so much for watching as always. If you've seen Hereditary and you want to talk about it, leave some comments below. I want to have a discussion with you guys about this movie. If you like this channel and you want to see more, click down there, like, comment, subscribe. We'll be back real soon with more reviews for you all. I really want to have a discussion about this movie though, guys. Please, please comment. Click the links below. We have a Facebook, we have a Twitter, we have a Patreon. Check them out. Donate if you want. But even if you don't, thank you guys so much for watching as always, and I will see you all very soon.
I just don't want to put any more stress on my family.